Welcome to Daily Gossip. You will get daily Hollywood updates here, so remember to subscribe for the latest videos, because today's story is one that has completely taken the internet by storm, with fans, critics, and fashion watchers around the world all buzzing about Kate Garraway, the beloved presenter who stunned audiences when she stepped into the spotlight in a way that no one ever expected, bared it all, and left very little to the imagination, sending shockwaves across social media and igniting a frenzy of conversation that proves once again why she is not only a household name but also a cultural phenomenon, because in this rare, daring, and unapologetically glamorous moment, Kate reminded the world that beauty, confidence, and elegance can come together in a way that defies age, expectation, and even gravity. And as images and clips of her bold appearance began to circulate, fans were left gasping. Tabloids rushed to publish headlines dripping with sensationalism, and Hollywood insiders couldn't stop dissecting every detail of her look, from the way the fabric flowed across her silhouette to the radiant glow she carried on her face, making it clear that this wasn't just another celebrity moment. It was a statement, a powerful declaration of self-expression that left people captivated, mesmerized, and in many cases, completely speechless. Because rarely do we see someone of Kate's stature and career longevity take such a daring leap into the world of raw glamour, but when she did, the impact was seismic, and the reactions prove it, with hashtags trending on Twitter within minutes, Instagram lighting up with fan edits, TikTok users recreating her look in awe, and entertainment outlets racing to feature her in cover stories, each headline more dramatic than the last, declaring her a goddess, a queen, and even the new face of unapologetic star power. And the energy around her appearance was not just about a single outfit or a bold choice, but about the way she owned it. The way she stood tall with confidence that radiated through every camera flash, every lens, every whisper in the crowd, making even her critics admit that Kate Garraway had become the center of a conversation much larger than fashion, much larger than Hollywood glamour, but about embracing one's individuality and refusing to fade into the background. Because if anyone thought Kate was going to quietly step aside in an era dominated by younger stars, they were wrong, because in that unforgettable moment, she proved that true star power only grows with time, and as she stood there, bearing it all and leaving little to the imagination, she embodied the kind of boldness that has always defined cultural icons. And this is why fans couldn't stop talking, sharing, and celebrating her like never before, because Kate's choice was not just about allure, it was about resilience. It was about rewriting the rules of celebrity, and it was about reminding the world that she is still here, more dazzling, more confident, and more magnetic than ever before. And as one fan perfectly put it in a viral comment, Kate Garraway just shut down the internet, and we'll never forget this moment. A sentiment echoed again and again across fan accounts, gossip sites, and even morning talk shows where her name dominated discussions, with presenters replaying her look and audiences gasping audibly, proving that this was not only a fashion shock but an emotional one too, because seeing Kate shine so brightly, so unapologetically, carried an energy that inspired thousands, even millions, to rethink how they view confidence, glamour, and aging in Hollywood. And that's exactly why this story refuses to die down, because Kate Garraway has managed to turn one daring moment into a cultural reset, and the ripples of that moment are only just beginning to spread. And as the dust from Kate Garraway's dazzling appearance continued to swirl across the entertainment world, what became more fascinating was not only the intensity of the initial shock but the persistence of the conversation, because unlike many fleeting celebrity moments that trend for a day and vanish, Kate's decision to bear it all and leave so little to the imagination evolved into something much larger, something symbolic, something that resonated far beyond the cameras and the flashing lights, becoming a talking point on breakfast television, evening panel shows, late-night gossip segments, glossy magazines, and of course the endless scroll of social media, where fans kept reposting her images with captions ranging from astonished admiration to heartfelt inspiration, calling her brave, timeless, and utterly captivating, because in a world obsessed with youth and perfection, Kate's boldness served as a reminder that allure and glamour have no expiration date, and her name became a hashtag trending alongside the likes of iconic figures such as Marilyn Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor, and Sophia Loren, drawing comparisons to a golden era of Hollywood when starlets understood the delicate balance between revealing and concealing, teasing and commanding, and the fact that Kate was being mentioned in the same breath as such timeless legends only added fuel to the fire of her growing cultural moment, as countless fashion critics rushed to declare that this wasn't just about an outfit but about a reclamation of power, a striking act of self-celebration that turned heads, lifted hearts, and challenged stereotypes in a single gesture, and every new article that emerged seemed more sensational than the last, with glossy magazines pushing front-page spreads, digital outlets competing for clicks, with headlines dripping with drama, and YouTube reaction videos pulling millions of views as creators analyzed every second of her appearance, replaying clips in slow motion, dissecting her walk, her pose, her smile, her composure, as though they were breaking down a piece of history rather than a red carpet moment. But perhaps that is precisely what it became, a piece of cultural history, a frozen instant that defined how we will remember this phase of her career. Because while Kate has always been admired for her professionalism, resilience, and warmth, no one could have predicted that she would step into the spotlight with such unshakable confidence and claim ownership of a narrative that is often dictated by others, and that is why her moment resonated far beyond glamour, because it was also about defiance, about not allowing the industry, the press, or even time itself to dictate when her shine should dim, and instead she set the tone, she set the standard, she decided how her story would be told, and the result was an uproar of admiration that still echoes weeks later, with stylists praising her boldness, empowerment activists highlighting her bravery, and everyday fans drawing inspiration to embrace their own confidence regardless of age, size, or expectation, because Kate's decision to bear it all wasn't simply fashion, it was transformation, and it set into motion conversations about how we view women in the media, about the pressure of celebrity image, about what it truly means to own one's presence in a world obsessed with appearances. And perhaps that is why so many people grew emotional as they watched her radiate, because she wasn't just showing skin, she was showing strength, she was showing freedom, she was showing that sometimes the boldest move isn't about shock, it's about liberation, and in that liberation, millions found themselves rethinking their own reflections, their own choices, their own confidence, proving that a celebrity moment can carry weight far deeper than the shimmer of sequins or the cut of fabric. It can become a mirror held up to society itself, and Kate Garraway, knowingly or unknowingly, became the vessel for that conversation, and as the media frenzy spun on, one thing became certain. This wasn't just Kate Garraway leaving little to the imagination, this was Kate Garraway leaving an unforgettable imprint on culture, and that is why fans, journalists, and Hollywood insiders alike continue to replay, repost, and relive that moment as if it were brand new, keeping her at the center of a dialogue that refuses to fade. And that brings us to you, the viewer, the one who has followed this journey through the lens of daily gossip, the one captivated not only by the glamour of stars, but by the stories of resilience, transformation, and reinvention that remind us why we keep watching, why we keep listening, why we keep caring, because at the heart of every headline lies a human story that inspires, shocks, and moves us. And if you felt that thrill, that shiver of excitement, that surge of awe watching Kate Garraway command the world's attention, then you already know why we do what we do. So let this moment serve not only as entertainment, but as a reminder that the world of celebrity is more than glitz. It is about courage, reinvention, and the unstoppable force of self-expression. And with that, we close this chapter of our story, but not before reminding you to stay with us, because tomorrow and the day after, Hollywood will continue to write new tales, new shocks, new triumphs. And you can be sure we will be here to share them. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right now. Join the Daily Gossip family and never miss another headline-shaking, heart-racing, star-studded update, because here you will always find the stories that captivate, the moments that inspire, and the gossip that makes you feel closer to the stars than ever before. So subscribe today and stay tuned for more daily gossip, where every day brings you the biggest celebrity stories, the most dramatic Hollywood updates, and the unforgettable journeys of the stars you love.